Right, so let's head on over to Becky's. She's the one who seems to really know something about this case. And even though we don't know what the red dust is, Quint certainly seems scared to know that we had it. So if that's the case, let's see what Becky's reaction is to this thing. Of course, she doesn't have to know that we don't know what it is. Oops. Whoops. Okay. So, if we assume that Quint is delivery man Q, he's delivering this red dust. Why is he delivering this dust, and to who? He said it was ground from the seeds of a plant. We don't actually know what it is. We don't know if it's drugs or if it is something legal. At the very least, I assume York is not familiar with any drugs that look like red powder, or I guess he would have said something. Sometimes you get money for knocking over phone poles, and sometimes you get a penalty. I don't really know what the difference is. By the way, remember what I talked about stabilizers before? Stabilizes your pulse rate? Does the same thing for cars. Right, so if our pulse meter goes up for using the siren too long, using a stabilizer will bring it right back down. Yeah, that works for cars too. Well, anyway, I hope Becky says something more about what this red dust is, or can tell us something about the case, because really this is the only lead we have. This Quint and Becky thing. We really don't have any other leads, and if this doesn't pan out, I guess we're gonna have to go to George and the police and see what they have. Oh, something I should mention. The top speed for this car is 55 miles per hour, but it is possible to go over that, which I'm doing right now. The problem is that when you do that, you lose control of the car, and strange things can happen. We're here. Right, so we just automatically write it ourselves, and let's do a proper parking job this time. There we go. Oh no, York's jacket. It has a tear in it. That's such a nice suit, too. Hope York can fix that. Oh good, it's fixed.
Where'd you get that?
Quint's trailer. He's delivery man Q, isn't he? You don't have to hide it any longer. I'm on your side. Will you tell me everything you know?
Yes, he's delivery man Q. But he's got nothing to do with Anna's death. So please just leave him alone, okay? I beg you.
That all depends on what else you can tell me, Becky. His being delivery man Q doesn't prove he had nothing to do with Anna's murder. Is there any way to get him to make a statement about this?
Okay. Just wait here. Give this to Quint and tell him I can't accept it. That's all I can do. Don't ask me for anything more. You'll get us both killed.
Zach, I was hoping we'd get a little bit more out of her, but that's okay. We'll get more when we hand over the ring. Let's go give Mr. Delivery Man Q a visit and see what happens.
Yeah, we really did not get much out of Becky at all. I think we should be a bit harder on her, since it seems like she knows a good deal more than she's telling. But yeah, our current mission now is to give Quint that ring and see what he has to say. I mean, we should be a bit harder on Becky. After all, she said that Quint had nothing to do with Anna's death. Doesn't that kind of imply that she does know who has something to do with it? But we just came from Quint's trailer, so I think before we go back, let's just have a look around this house, since we've only seen the front of it. Let's go around back and see what the backyard's like. Like I said, she has a much larger house than anyone else in Greenvale. It's much nicer too. Dumpster! Everyone lives in pretty modestly sized houses, but Becky's house is much larger. And if we go into her backyard, it actually borders a lake. So yeah, this is some serious property right here. Let's have a peep. I guess this is how Becky spends her time, crying on her bed. At least we got a look inside of her house. It looks like York's getting tired. Let's have a look at his sleep meter. See what that, how close he is to, really needing some sleep. Oh, he still has a good amount left. So I guess I should explain what that sleep meter is. It's that, the one with the moose head with the Z's by it. What that is like with the hunger meter, the sleep meter will go down over time. If it reaches 0, then York's pulse rate will rise up much faster and much more easily than normal. So it's not as dangerous as York's hunger going down, because York's hunger going down can actually kill him. That's not the case with sleep. But you do want to get a good amount of sleep so that doesn't happen, especially when you're going into combat situations. Now, that's right, the sleep meter, it going to 0 has one other effect, and that is, if it is at 0 and you go to bed, then you have no choice but to sleep for 19 hours straight, I think it is. So if that happens, you want to just make sure that you don't have any appointments the following day within the next 19 hours that you're going to miss. So that is the other side effect for the sleep meter going down to 0. Otherwise, I mean, you can kind of ignore it. You can also replenish it by drinking coffee. So yes, in the world of Deadly Premonition, a cup of coffee is pretty much the same thing as sleep. You can go for days without sleeping if you want, and somehow I get the feeling that York does this on a regular basis. By the way, I've lost control of the car again. You can see the speedometer is nearly 70. I can't move the car. Right. So when that happens, you're just going to head straight forward until you hit something that's going to slow you down. So, Becky gave us this engagement ring to give to Quint, but what could this mean, and what information are we going to get from Quint about this? Oh, hold on. Okay, like I said, don't try to cut across people's property to get a shortcut, because usually something's going to block you, so I should not have tried that. But what information are we going to get from Quint when we give him the engagement ring? Is Becky angry at Quint? I mean, we know that, Quint is Becky's boyfriend, but no one mentioned that he was her fiancé. No one said anything about that. But, what reason would Becky have to be mad at Quint? It didn't seem, and I guess we're the reason that Becky is giving the ring back. She wasn't going to give the ring back until she saw that we had the red dust. So, perhaps it's not Quint that Becky is mad at. Well, I guess we'll find out in a moment. We'll just see what Quint's reaction is to getting this ring. My dad will be pleased. Yeah, your girlfriend told us to give you back this engagement ring. It's kind of awkward.
Where did you get that?
Becky gave it to me. She also told me to tell you that she can't accept it.
Can't accept it? What does that mean?
Exactly what it sounds like, Quint. I think she was extremely worried about you. I'm just guessing, but she's been giving you the plants to make the red powder, hasn't she? Then you rode your bike out of town. You went on a trip, and you sold the powder somehow. You bought that ring with the money. That's why she gave me the ring. She wants to stop you from making any more trips. She doesn't want you to get involved anymore with this.
But I did all this for her. I started out delivering because I wanted the extra cash. But you know, things like this change over time. As you can see, her family is loaded, and I live in a trailer house. She's out of my league, you know? And so I wanted to be the kind of guy she could be with.
Quint, you already are. You didn't need money for that.
Have things gone too far? Because of me?
Not at all, Quint. You can do things over. You're still young.
Can you hold off on arresting me just for a little while? I want to apologize to her. And promise her that I'll never carry that junk again. Just give me a little time. Please? I'll turn myself in once I've talked to her, okay?
Zach, what is he talking about?
Huh?
Why would I arrest an innocent youth such as yourself? Quint, I'm busy with a murder investigation here. We can talk about health food another time, okay?
If you really want to confess, you could always try a church. What do you think, Zach?
It isn't much, but I want you to take this as a thank you gift.
Zach, another young life saved. Good job.
Well, as far as the investigation goes, it was kind of disappointing because it turns out it looks like Quint doesn't really know anything about the murder. He was getting this plant material from Becky and was selling it. We don't know to who. We don't know why someone would want to buy it. It looks like York's going to let this one go. But we did get one thing from this little sequence. The wrench. It says it's a normal metal wrench, but it is not normal. You see that infinity symbol next to the word wrench? That means this is an infinite melee weapon. It'll never break, it'll never wear out. We can use it forever. And this will come in very handy. This makes everything worthwhile, because this is going to be one of my most commonly used weapons. The wrench is a short-range, fast weapon. It's very powerful for this point in the game. We'll get more powerful weapons later on, but for right now it's very good. But as far as the investigation goes, it looks like Quint might be a dead end. Becky definitely knows something, though. But doesn't seem to be any way to get her to talk. She doesn't want to speak to us at all. She seems very afraid, though. But why is she afraid? Well, there's nothing for it right now, and I guess this lead is dried up. It's 4:30 right now. We'll wait until the Swery 65 opens up and see what that's all about. But until then, there's only one thing to do.
Cut it out!